Okay, when you think of Brazil, what's the first thing that pops into your head? I'm guessing it's probably sun, samba, maybe those incredible coastlines. But there's another story fermenting there, one that's kind of challenging everything we thought we knew about where great wine can be made. Let's get into it. Seriously, picture it. Is it a super cold beer on the beach, a really strong cup of coffee, or, oh, maybe a caipirinha, muddled just right? Yeah, those are all great answers, but they're not the whole story. That's right, wine. And we're not talking about just any wine. We're talking about a dynamic, diverse, and super fast evolving world of it. From amazing sparkling whites to these big, robust reds, Brazil is, quietly becoming a serious player on the world's wine stage. Now, to really get Brazilian wine, you first have to get Brazil itself. So we're going to take a little tour of some of the most unlikely and, frankly, impossible sounding places to grow grapes on the entire planet. I mean, the place is just massive. It stretches from these temperate zones way down south that feel almost European, all the way up to these semi-arid tropics of the Northeast, right near the equator. This incredible mix of climates and soils means there's no single Brazilian wine. No, there are many. And this slide right here, wow, it just captures that diversity perfectly. On one side, you've got the Serra Gaúcha down south. Think of this as Brazil's traditional wine heartland. It was heavily influenced by Italian immigrants, so it's cool, it's temperate, and it is the undisputed king of Brazilian sparkling wine. Then, on the complete opposite end of the map, you have the Vale do San Francisco. It's hot, it's dry, and it can only exist because of some seriously high-tech irrigation. It's a true tropical wine frontier. And get this, it doesn't even stop there. You've got these super high-altitude vineyards in Santa Catarina that are making these crisp, elegant white wines. Then there are wineries in Minas Gerais pioneering this thing called winter harvest wine. And even in Bahia, which is famous for its beaches, the highlands are producing these totally unique tropical wines. It's an incredible mosaic of flavors and places. So how did this all happen? I mean, Brazil's wine story isn't exactly new, but it has gone through a massive, massive transformation. It's a story about going from simple table wine to bottles that can compete on the world stage. The first vines were actually planted way back in 1532, but the real winemaking culture, that came in the 1800s with Italian immigrants. For a long time, though, it was all about quantity over quality. The real game changer was in the 1970s with a group called Embrapa, Brazil's agricultural research agency. They brought science into the vineyard, and that set the stage for the 2000s when this new generation of winemakers just decided, you know what, we're going to aim for the stars. And that's really the key takeaway here, this huge pivot. It was a very conscious decision by the whole industry, backed by science, to stop just making lots of wine and start making great wine. It's this ambition to show off the unique character of all these different regions that's driving everything today. Okay, so if you thought tropical wine was surprising, you might want to sit down for this next part. We have to talk about one of the most revolutionary ideas in modern winemaking, and it's happening right now in Brazil. They are basically hacking the seasons. It's called dupla poda, which just means double pruning. See, in most of the world, you prune a vine once a year. But in Brazil's tropical areas, the rainy summer is awful for grapes. They just get diluted and rot. So they came up with this brilliant idea. Prune the vine twice to basically trick it into growing its fruit during the dry, sunny winter instead. So here's how they pull it off. They do one pruning to let the vine grow leaves and just store up energy during that wet season. Then, bam, they hit it with a second, much tougher pruning, which forces the plant to start making grapes. This moves the whole ripening process into the dry winter, when you get tons of sun and no rain. Absolutely perfect conditions for amazing, concentrated grapes. And the results of all this cleverness? It's that big number you see on the screen, 2. In places like the Valley de San Francisco, they can get 2 full, high-quality harvests in a single year. Now, just to put that into perspective, that is something that is completely 100% unheard of in places like France or Italy. It's a total game changer, born from having to adapt to a really unique climate. So with all this mind-bending innovation, the future for Brazilian wine looks, well, incredibly exciting. The story is nowhere near finished. In fact, it kind of feels like it's just getting started. So what should we be looking out for? Well, there's a huge push for sustainability and organic farming. Enoturism is absolutely exploding. People are flocking to these regions. There's also this really cool movement to rediscover native Brazilian grapes. And finally, the industry's working hard to get official regional names so they can protect what makes each area's wine so special. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this perfect storm. It's the mix of Brazil's incredible natural diversity and the absolute passion and ingenuity of its winemakers. That's the combo that's creating such a competitive and exciting industry. So I guess I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. With winemakers who are literally bending the rules of nature, exploring places once thought completely impossible for wine, you just have to wonder, could the future of wine be found far, far away from its traditional home, hiding in plain sight right in the heart of Brazil? Based on everything we're seeing, the answer just might be yes.